What's going on, y'all? This is going to be an episode of the Smart Remark. I wanted to talk about the Ryback situation. How are you, by the way? I hope you're having a wonderful day. Night now, so I hope you're having a wonderful night. For those that don't know, apparently, the rumors going around is that Ryback is having some issues with WWE management about how much money he's going to get paid and things of that sort. You know what I mean? So he kind of wants a pay raise, and he feels that perhaps he should be higher in the card and things like that. You know what I mean? He released a statement earlier today on Tumblr, saying that he doesn't understand why, if you're at the bottom of the card and you do a lot of jobs, as they've said, if you lose a lot, excuse me, why you're paid less. Whereas if you win a lot, you get paid more. He says that it doesn't make any sense, since we all know it's predetermined, and since we all know that they're working together. You know what I mean? They're not actually opposed to one another because it's predetermined, and it's not, it's not real. This is the smart remark, so we're going to talk about it like we know we're not going to be idiots. This is the smart mark. So just letting you know. So that I thought that was really interesting. Because it doesn't sound like something Ryback would say, as far as a character and as the person that I've heard that he is, or that I've seen, like on Table for Three and things of that sort. I apologize, I'm kind of sick. Anyway, but even with my sickness, I'm trying to see if I have like a towel or something. Even with my sickness, I can still smell a work from a mile away, and this smells like a work. And stick with me, because I know you're saying, well, why would this be a work? Why would they art this shit or whatever the fuck? Like, this is real life and blah blah blah. And I think it's important to note that the WWE has been going on for the last 2 weeks or so. That it's going to be a new era or whatever. But if you watch the show, everything is exactly the same. There's nothing new about it. So what I did find interesting is that on Twitter, Jericho publicly humiliated Brock Lesnar guy, who's a very known fan of WWE, and Jericho just made fun of him, just completely broke kayfabe and just made fun of him. I found that was odd. That was odd because WWE doesn't usually do things like that, and to have somebody like Jericho just completely mention the superfan and make fun of him like that kind of makes you wonder if this is like the direction that they're going in, and this is the work that they're going to do or whatever. And then you saw Bubba Ray make fun of Matthew as well, which is like even more mind blowing because like if you watch Botchamania, then you're hardcore. Like that's pretty much, or you at least have some understanding of what wrestling is, and you know when they fuck up, and you know what a botch is, and things of that sort. So you're, I'm not sure if I would say you're hardcore, but you're a smart fan. You're more older, and you don't care about who wins and loses and things like that. You just want to see them perform their sport art or sport entertainment, properly. So for Bubba to call out Matthew in a very entertaining way, I might add, it was funny. That's like, wait, what the fuck? What's going on? That's something that I haven't seen. Correct me if I'm wrong down in the comments, but I haven't seen that. And then we got hold on. That's disgusting. If you're watching this, you must be hardcore as fuck because I just blew my nose. That's nasty. And then now we got Ryback on Tumblr of all places. Like why on Tumblr, yo? Like that was the first thing that was like it that was a flag in my head. Like Tumblr. Like why didn't you just post this on Twitter longer or on fucking on I don't know, Instagram or fucking, why didn't you do an editorial for WWE.com? Like, why didn't you, maybe even Reddit, something like this, what he's saying about, equal pay and how it's all predetermined and stuff. That seems like it's more those sites kind of thing. Like, why would you post it on Tumblr? Like, Tumblr is a place that's mostly like yaoi fangirls and children, basically. they're more interested about imagining Ryback and Kalisto, penetrating each other than they are about the actual business and about what's actually happening. They're more interested in, oh my God, he's so hot, look at his muscles. So why the hell would they? Why would he put it on Tumblr about places? Like, would it be because that's where he thinks he has most of his fans or something? And even then, if that's where he thinks he has most of his fans, he's got to know that they don't give a fuck about that stuff. Like, they don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. Like, most of them just want to imagine Ryback doing stuff to them. Like, that's it. That's what Tumblr is, from what I've gathered. Now, there is some smart fans on Tumblr. I'm not going to hate on all of them. I'm just saying, from what I've heard and from what, like, the gossip is on Tumblr, that's what it's most known for. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure there's plenty of smart marks. I've seen a lot of the Yoshi stuff and a lot of ROH gifs on Tumblr as well. So Tumblr is not all bad. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, something about this doesn't sound right to me. And then you add the fact that this whole week has been like this weird social media stuff. And then Ryback came out and did the CM Punk entrance in Chicago, which, whatever, who gives a shit, right? He's just drawing heel heat, that makes sense. But then he goes on this tirade, and this shit sounds like something CM Punk would say. Like, this doesn't sound like some Ryback shit. This sounds like some CM Punk shit. So I think it's a work, and I know you guys are probably like, "Oh, that goddamn smart. He thinks everything's a work." And I don't. Like when you look at my reaction to my review of Payback, I said that if it was a work, the Enzo spot, if it was a work, I said that it was very well acted, but that I don't think it was a work, and that I think he was legit hurt. So I don't think everything's a work. You know what I mean? Luke Harper being out for as long as he's been out, that's not a work. Ryback legit injured that guy. It doesn't take a fucking genius to watch that match and watch that Ryback forgot to position his arm for the fucking, whatever the fuck that move's called. And that when fucking Luke Harper ran to the back, he was holding his elbow because he didn't want his motherfucking bone to break. It doesn't take a motherfucking genius to see that shit. You know what I mean? And then people are like, "Oh, well, he fought the next week on Raw and SmackDown." I'm like, yeah, but he didn't take any fucking hits. He didn't land on his back. He didn't land on his arm. He didn't take any fucking bumps, and he rarely used his arm, if ever. And then suddenly, after those 2 weeks, he has a broken leg off air, and he's gone for months. That's a fucking work, man. It doesn't take a genius. You know what I mean? That's a fucking work. Ryback hurt that guy. And so it becomes a thing with this where it's like either it's a work and they're trying to get Ryback over as this guy that even the smart marks are supposed to like, or it's a fucking shoot and Ryback's being punished for injuring Luke Harper. And then if it's a shoot, then it's really interesting because they're presenting it as a shoot. You know what I mean? They're presenting it like Ryback legit wants out of his contract or whatever. So if he does, then where the hell does Ryback go? Because I'm telling you right now, most of the fans won't give a shit. Like, they're not going to give a shit. Especially not WWE fans. WWE fans are loyal to WWE, like the hardcore WWE fans. And they don't give a shit. If Ryback's gone, then they're just like, well, fuck it, he's gone. And they'll just see him losing to Kalisto as like, oh well, he didn't deserve to be in it. Like, if it's fucking real and shit, though. That's what they'll think. They'll be like, oh, he's not strong enough or whatever the fuck. Like, come on, have you seen the fucking guy? He's swole as shit. Say what you want about Ryback, but as far as like bodybuilding and shit's concerned, the guy's swole, and that's not something I care about. But I'm just saying that common sense dictates that he's swole as shit, He's not what I like in a pro wrestler. I'm more interested in cardio and doing some cool looking stuff. I want the shit to look cool. And Ryback just doesn't do that for me. And I've never seen him have a match that's more than 20 minutes long, So to me, he's nothing special. But I'm saying, if the fans are like, oh, it's because, he wasn't good enough, because he's not, strong enough or some shit, you're way off. You're wrong. You know what I mean? So it's interesting because now it's a shoot, whereas if WWF fans just say fuck it, let him go wherever he wants to go, and they don't care, then it becomes a question of where does he go, and does he get better? You know what I mean? If he goes to ROH or New Japan, does he stand a shot? Can he go the required amount of time? Can it be as hard hitting as he's supposed to be in those organizations to make himself over. Because the guy's strong as shit. So he may just get over just because he's strong as shit, especially in a place like New Japan. I could see him getting over. I could see him becoming quite famous over there. Or if he goes to Mexico, like, fucking, if he goes to Mexico, like, that's an automatic. He's over. Because Mexico loves big dudes. He'll get over like that. He'll be like a super heel in a couple of minutes. Like, it won't take long if he goes to Mexico. So the question is, do Ryback fans follow him? And if they do they get educated about the different organizations that exist? And does he get over? Because if he gets over in New Japan Wrestling Strong Style, then WWE looks bad. It looks like they missed an opportunity with him. You know what I mean? If he gets over in Mexico, it's not that big of a deal. Not too many watch Mexican wrestling. CMLL. It'd be great if he does get over, but I don't see it happening. To the point where we legit care. Like, I don't think he'll have, 5-star matches versus Dragon Lee and shit. Like, I don't think that's going to happen for Ryback. It'd be great if it did. And again, we'd be able to say that that the WWE missed an opportunity. And it's rare that we say that about the WWE and its wrestlers, but they do have a really long, extensive, like, amazing roster right now. And I'm not just saying that. And the thing is about Ryback, he's not bad. Like, he's not amazing, but he's not bad. I think he'd have a shot in ROH or in New Japan. Not a real good one, but he'd have a shot. I think he'd get over in New Japan easy. Not New Japan, in Mexico. I think in New Japan it would be a bit of a struggle for him, but I think he could do it. He's a tough dude, you know what I mean? But they would work him to the ground in New Japan, boy. I think he'd have a shot in ROH as well. And I think he'd get over easy in Mexico. Because, like I'm saying, he's not bad. But, like, when you compare him to Sheamus or, Wade Barrett, he's not as good as them. You know what I mean? Like, I think Sheamus and Barrett get over in New Japan easy. They work the style well. I think Barrett is, like, gold for Ring of Honor. Like, if Barrett goes to Ring of Honor, I think he fits that mold perfectly. As far as Ryback, it's going to be interesting to see whether it's a work or a shoot. But like I said, I think it's a work. I think they just want guys like me to talk about Ryback. I think that's all they care about. And they want fans of Ryback to hear this side of the discussion. Because the guy's good. He just had a pretty good match against Kalisto. I rated it 3.75. So it's a passing grade, you know what I mean? It wasn't a fail. So I think Ryback is good. I just think that this argument about him wanting more money and this this argument about everybody should get paid the same amount isn't something he would say. And I don't think it's something he would say on Tumblr. And I think it's interesting that he's saying it in the same week that we're supposedly getting a new era and Jericho and Roy and Bubba are making fun of, the super fans. I know that brings up questions in my head that are like, wait, this doesn't make sense. Like, this sounds like a work, this smells like a work, and it looks like a work. Would WWE let Ryback go? I doubt it. And if they do let him go, I think he'll go to UFC more often than he'll go to another wrestling promotion. I think he'll make money and he'll get over in Mexico the most. But I think most wrestling fans won't give a shit about that. I think if he goes to New Japan, he'll get his ass kicked. And we'll see if he can adapt to the style. And I don't mean get his ass kicked as in, physically get beat up. I mean as in they're going to train him. They're going to teach him how to run the ropes a lot. Things of that sort, And ROH, the fans may eat him alive. I don't know if the fans will take kindly to him. So 15 minutes, I could probably ramble about this for days.